Good morning, students. I'm sure you're having a thrilling morning today. I'm having one. So I'm sure you all will be having a very thrilling and rocking morning today. Somebody's asking the reason. The reason is simple because I want the morning to be so. So it is me who should decide how my morning should be. And I've decided my today's morning should be thrilling. So let us make it thrilling, right? So, yes, very good morning. Neeraj, good morning. Aditi, Gunjan, Prajapati, Digambar Bhai, Rajveer, Deepika, Pooja, Riddhiben, Pratiksha, Aishwarya, Kairavi, Shamli, Himanshi, Niharika, Harsh. Very, very good morning to all. So now we can start with the rocking part, that is the question answers. Yes, Vida, good morning. Mustafa, Gayatri. A small request, some of you may have joined with your parents' name, and I may be by mistake taking those names because that is what is appearing. So kindly update me with your names so that I should not even by mistake address you by your parents' name. Yes, Jitu beta. I'm trying to unmute you. Nisargji, can we please unmute Jitu? Okay. Students, let us take up your queries. So Rajveer has put me a query. Sir, what is the meaning of a peace employee? See, there is nothing like a peace employee. It is the peace rate plan, if you remember, which we had discussed in the previous class, that whenever, see, there are broadly two ways of computing your wages. The first way is computing on the basis of time. So the first and the most common plan is on the basis of time. So where I'm computing your wages using time basis. So my rate is fixed as per hour. It is time rate. And the second way of computing your wages is fixing your wages on the basis of output that you are giving, where my wage rate is fixed as per unit, which is called as the piece rate. So time rate, piece rate. Now, those employees who are paid by this rate are also at times called as piece employees. Otherwise, there is no specific term used like piece employee. This is just a reference which some books at times may use. Correct, Beta Rajveer? Yes. What else? Students, I expect that you all read the theory, you raise me doubts on theory, and we do all things in the class which are practical, which are technical, and at the same time, you have all your queries ready for the theory part. Obviously, practical part is always there, but specifically theory part. Yes, anybody else? Any query? Because today we are going to start with this practical part, which is on computing your wages, which is part of labor or employee cost chapter, costing category. As you know, I've been mentioning this, that in all these chapters of material, labor, overheads, you will be studying three things. Accounting, which we studied last time, time rate, piece rate system, that is the accounting. We also studied one part of costing, which is common to every chapter, that is how to find out the charging rate, and this is the mother formula. Control we have not yet studied, but very soon today after this part, which is the computation of wages is done, we'll go to the part on control also. But before that, any questions, students? Yes, everybody present. Anybody? Any doubts in any part? Okay, not only this chapter. We can go back to any of the previous chapters, because it will happen that as we proceed with our syllabus, you will start realizing some more things about some previous chapters. Or when you're revising your previous chapters parallelly, if you have any doubt queries, so please make it a point that you will put across your queries to me whenever they arise, irrespective of which topic, which concept, which chapter they belong to. Yes, students, no queries? Purnima. Yes, Beta, tell me.
Sir, what is benevolent fund?
Benevolent fund. Where have you read this? Because see, benevolent fund is a generic term, Beta. Now, it has meaning, but if you want me to give a specific answer, if you can tell me where you have read this.
Sir, in employee cost itself, there is other deductions. In that, there is a benevolent contribution to any benevolent fund.
So that is this, Beta, statutory payment. If you remember, I also explained you the computation of charging rate, in which whatever payment you make to employees are of three types: the basic salary, different types of allowances, bonus, commission depending upon the special performance, then the facilities given, which is called as perquisites. See, you will be studying all this in your direct tax class very soon. And then comes statutory payments, which are also, now let us say what you read is a benevolent fund. So see, firstly, what is the meaning of a benevolent? Benevolent means whatever is beneficial, whatever is for your benefit. So benevolent, anything benevolent means something which is for your benefit, which is beneficial. Just a minute. Sorry. So now what is a benevolent fund? See, when it comes to employee, when it comes to labor, there are different labor laws applicable. Now, these laws has made out some conditions, some requirement whereby different funds are created. Now, what is a fund? See, this word you will come across in all topics like income tax, in your GST, and right now in your costing. So, what is a fund? Students, a fund means a place where you accumulate money. Accumulated money is fund. And generally, how fund is created? Fund is created by contribution. So, if it is a fund which is for everyone's benefit, so everyone is contributing to that fund. Like if you remember during COVID, our honorable Prime Minister had appealed that we all should contribute to a fund called as PM Cares Fund, so that that money could be used for creating all the infrastructure and providing free vaccination at the time of COVID. So that is an example of accumulating money through contribution. Now, what is a benevolent fund over here, which I mentioned in my language as statutory payment? I called it as statutory because it is made compulsory by law. And it is called as benevolent fund, like as you read. Why? Because it is for benefit of employee. So there are different funds. In fact, I would have used the names also somewhere. I remember writing down those names somewhere last time when we were discussing. Anyways, so these funds are, if I have to put the names, Provident Fund. Maybe you all would have heard this. Then there is Employee State Insurance Corporation Fund, ESIC. Then there is Gratuity Fund. Then there is a fund which is for females. There is a fund which is for senior citizens. So there are different types of funds. Now, these funds are created because of some statutory compulsion. So I have called it as statutory payments. Now, how is this mechanism working? When you are in my employment, when you are under me as an employee, these acts, these statutes, these laws asked me to open a bank account in your name where this money will get accumulated. Now, this money will be accumulating by contribution. Now, who has to make contribution? These acts provide that the contribution will be made by both. So, some part you are contributing out of your salary, some part I am adding to that fund out of my pocket. Now, interestingly, when we are talking about total labor cost to company, this labor cost, students, is comprising of employer's contribution. Please understand this. Why? Because when we are finding out what is my cost, which I'm incurring for you in the form of labor cost or employee cost, this particular numerator will cover all expenses which I'm incurring. So in this fund, whatever is my contribution is my part of labor cost. Correct, beta? I hope all these points are clear to you and also to everybody else. Deepika has a question. How to compute and present the economic batch quantity sum? Deepika, we have solved so many sums on economic batch quantity. Acha, sorry, not economic batch quantity. That beta will be covered in a topic that we'll be doing later, somewhere towards the end of August month, where the topic's name is batch quantity, batch costing, unit costing. Yes, I have taken that concept in the material chapter purposefully just to make you all aware that the formula for economic batch quantity is copy paste of economic order quantity, but it is a part of your batch costing chapter, Deepika. Fine. Okay. Any further questions, students? So now, if your queries are resolved, let me take you to the most important practical aspect of this chapter where you are supposed to compute what? You are supposed to compute the total wages, maybe including incentives under different plans. Again, I repeat, what we are studying majorly deals with direct workers. So we are majorly dealing with direct wages because indirect wages are part of overheads. You will be studying more about that in the overheads chapter when it comes to costing of indirect wages. As far as costing of direct wages is concerned, this is the chapter where we are going to discuss. Now, in the last class, we studied these five different plans, five different ways of computing wages. I'll just repeat so that it will be a revision of all these formulae. Now, the first and the most common method of computing wages is also called as the time wage plan, also called as a simple time rate plan, minimum wages plan, or the guaranteed wages plan. Now, why these terms are used? It is called as time rate or time wages because you are paid wages as per or on the basis of the time you are present in my factory. This data is gathered by my accounts department using the timekeeping methods like maintaining attendance register or having the time recording clocks or using those thumb machines, etc. Now, this time for which you are present in my factory, in my office, will be multiplied by whatever is the wage rate fixed per hour. So I've taken example. Let us say I'm calculating your daily wages. Today you are present for the entire 8 hours shift and the wage rate per hour fixed is rupees 100. So when I multiply this, I get your wages, which comes to rupees 800 for today. So this is how your wages are calculated using the time rate plan. Now this is also called as a guaranteed wage plan or the minimum wages plan for the simple reason that irrespective of how much production you have done during the day, irrespective of how much you have worked during the day, what is your output or result, irrespective of that, you will get this much amount compulsorily. you will get this amount as your minimum wages. Hence, it is also called as minimum wage or guaranteed wage plan. Then comes the common only, or it is used only in few types of businesses. The rate is here called as piece rate because you are paid not on the basis of time you are present, but on the basis of work you have completed during the day. So your work is measured in terms of the output that you have produced, which will be measured in units, and you are having wages over here, which is fixed per unit. Now, let us say during today, where you were present in my factory for 8 hours, your production work is rupees 12 per unit. So when I multiply this 12 by 60, this 720 what I'm getting is my wages on the basis of piece or on the basis of your output. Is this clear to all students? Piece rate, payment by result is clear to everyone. Now, then comes a plan which is combination of these two. It is called as piece rate with guaranteed wages. Now, guaranteed means it is talking about the time wage plan because that is what is the plan which gives you a guaranteed wages. But the method is piece rate also. So how to find out the answer for this? You should compute wages under both the methods, time rate, piece rate, and the higher of these two is the answer for this plan. Correct? Good. Excellent. Then comes the next plan. The next plan is called as a premium bonus plan. This plan is also on the basis of your time, but the only difference is besides giving you wages for time, it is also giving you some extra wages, which is called as bonus. But this bonus is based on how much time you have saved for me. Now, how do you find out time saved? So there is something which is called as a standard time. What is a standard time? So for doing any type of work, the employer fixes some time. That is, as per employer, this much time should be required for doing the work. That time is called as standard time, or it is also called as time allowed. Now, this time will be compared with how much time you have taken to actually complete the work. So whatever is your actual time taken, that is subtracted. Now, I took an example of income tax because right now we have the income tax period. So we are doing the computation, income tax computation of our clients, whereby we will be filing their income tax return and making them pay the income tax liability. Now, how do we proceed? So we get the details of every client and we make our staff who are our articles to do that computation. Now, as per my past experience, this particular work should be done in 3 hours. So 3 hours is the time which I have fixed according to me, which is the appropriate time, a reasonable time to complete this work. This is what is called as standard time. Since this is the time I'm allowing my worker to do the work, it is also called as time allowed. Now, as against this, there is one Mr. A who completed the entire computation and brought it to me in 2.5 hours. So he completed the work in 2.5 hours. So this was the time which he took to complete the work, which is the actual time. Now, if 3 hours work is done by some employee in 2.5 hours, so effectively that employee is very efficient because he has saved zero point 0.5 hours for me. Now, saved means what? Now I'll give him the next 5 to do the next customers or clients work. So this is how his work is for my benefit because his speed is good. He is able to complete work faster. Now this is his time saved, which is being rewarded over here in the form of bonus. Another example, the same type of work, because I have multiple clients, another file I am giving to another employee, Mr. B, or in my case, it is the article. But since the person is new, since the person is slow, or since the person is more distracted with other things, so the person takes 4 hours to do the work. Now, this employee is, at least as on date, not a very efficient employee, and there is no time saved by him. Rather, it is that he has taken more time to do that work. But time saved is never put in negative. If it is time saved, we put it positive. If nothing, we just drop it. So it is nil. Now, with this, we apply both these plans. The first plan is called as the Halse plan, where the first part is the wages, time wages. So how it will be calculated? Actual time into time rate. It is same like here, what we have studied, actual time present into time rate. And then we give payment for the time saved also. So this time saved by the worker is compensated. So I am paying some extra wages by multiplying the time saved by the time rate. Only the thing is that the plan says give him 50% of this. In this, there is a variation which is named as Halse plan. Am I audible? Is my voice coming to you all clearly? Because at least my video is having some problem. Now I think it is okay. Okay, Krishna says yes. Rajveer says clear. Deepika is also saying audio clear. Perfect. So it means you're understanding whatever I'm saying. So in Halseware, there is a variation. The entire formula is saying, only thing is that they are saying instead of paying 50%, give them 30%. That's the only difference. Now we have a very special plan, which is the Rowan plan. Now, how does Rowan plan compute the wages and bonus? Wages is same. It is actual time into time rate. So it also gives you time wages. But the bonus is calculated by a very novel formula, a very mathematical approach formula, whereby they are taking actual time into time rate again, but it is multiplied by this ratio. So this actual time is multiplied by the ratio of time saved upon standard time. So this is how Rowan calculates your wages. Correct? So this is what is the formula, students. You may just, if you want, you can click this so that when we are solving the sums, you have the formulae in front of your eyes. So these are broadly major 5 formulae, major 5, you'll say, concepts or plans for computing the wages in our syllabus. So just make a screenshot of this so that when we are solving, it is in front of your eyes. Now, now we solve these sums for our practice, right? Again, you may take a screenshot of these sums also so that it is in front of your eyes when you are solving. Majority sums, I try to solve it on this sheet itself so that I'm not swapping between 2 slides and it is easy for you to connect. But where more workings are involved, I'll be taking you to the notepad where I'll be solving. Now, we start with very basic sums. Such sums would carry 2 marks maximum. So what does the question says? Calculate the earnings of worker A, B, C. So there are 3 workers. So you will always have 3 columns. Now, what are the plans they want? One is the piece rate plan, and then you have the Halse-Rowan. Now, remember, students, whenever there is Halse-Rowan, you have to find out standard time minus actual time, time saved. This working you all should always do because without this working, you cannot come to the answer. Now, what are the details given? They say that the normal rate per hour is rupees 60. So this becomes your time rate. The standard given is, now this is something which we have to work on. What we have to do, I'll inform. Then they are saying output in a 8-hour day. So it means you are made to work for 8 hours. So this is your actual time. And then the actual output is given. ठीक है. Now there are two interesting things in this. Now this is where you have to be very, very specific in the exam problem. It appears to be a very straightforward question, but it is not. There is something where you have to work on before you start solving this. So there are two things. They have asked me to solve by piece rate, but they have given me time rate. This is the first interesting point we have to address, we have to handle. Second thing is standard is given as for 1 unit, they are allowing me 1 minute. So this is how they have given me the standard. Now you will say, sir, what is so special in that? I'll tell you. So now we have this working where for the purpose of Halser oven, you have to find out standard time minus actual time to get time saved, right? But before that, two important things, as I said in this question, that we need to address. What are those? So this question requires me to do something which is called as conversion of time rate to piece rate. Now, what is this, students? Conversion of time rate to piece rate. As I mentioned in the question, the solution is following the piece rate plan. They have asked me to calculate the wages on the basis of straight piece rate. Now, if I have to follow straight piece rate, the formula will be like this. It will be actual output multiplied by piece rate. And how piece rate is to be given? It should be given some amount per unit of output. But if you read the question carefully, which is the main skill or one of the main skills at your professional level is, you will find that the wage rate is given per hour. So there is a conflict. What is the conflict? You have to solve taking wage rate per unit, but you are given the wage rate which is per hour, right? Now, what is all this? So the point is conversion of time rate into piece rate is required in this sum because I have to solve the answer by taking the formula where the wages should be per piece, per unit. But the question has not given me wages per unit. Question has given me wages per hour. Now, first students understand this. This is a simple basic mathematical point. If something is given per hour, I have to multiply it by hours to get total amount. But here the formula is not of calculating wages on hours basis. The formula is for calculating wages on unit basis. So I'll have to first convert the wages which is given per hour to wages which is per unit. Now, how to do this? You do this by using standard. So this standard concept, which will be used in Halcyon also, that standard is used for this purpose. Now, what is the standard given? If you recall the question, which I've asked you to take a screenshot also, it says 1 unit is equal to 1 minute. So they have given you standard. Now what is standard? It is the time which the employer is allowing you. So how much time the employer is allowing you to do the work? He says that for making 1 unit of my output, you should require 1 minute. So let us say it is some very simple basic work. Because better this question paper is not uploaded and that is why I have requested that you please take a screenshot of this. It is my practice, my habit of uploading the question sheets after the batch or the class is over. So that why I do this, I'll tell you if anybody has a question, ki sir, why you don't upload it beforehand? Because many times it happens that when we are drafting these questions, there is some slight mathematical error or some typographical error. Second, many times it happens that while solving, we find that, okay, this new adjustment can be incorporated in the question. So these small changes we do at the time of taking the class. And then we upload the correct version or the final version. Correct, beta. So that is why I always request that when I'm solving, you take a screenshot so you have the question in front of your eyes. Now coming back to the students. Now they have given you standard saying that one unit should be made in 1 minute. First, convert the standard into standard on the basis of per hour. Per hour means here the time allowed is 1 minute for one unit. But can I convert this into standard per hour? The answer is yes. We know that 1 hour is made up of 60 minutes. So if I have to convert this standard from minutes to hours, my standard should appear like this. Since the time allowed by employer is for one unit, you should require 1 hour, 1 minute. It means in 1 hour, you should be making 60 units. I hope this is clear to everyone. Yes, Rajveer, very good. Correct, students? Now, my standard will be now 1 hour is equal to 60 units. Now I have to convert the rate, the wage rate which is given as per hour to wage rate which should be per unit. How I will do this? So I will again write my standard which I have now fixed per hour, and also I will write my time rate. Interestingly, students, you will find that now you'll understand why I converted the standard to per hour. So what is the wage rate given? It is rupees 60. Now this wage rate could be anything. It could be 90, it could be 100, it could be 200. Here they have given us 60. Now interestingly, what you'll observe, students, that the employer has fixed two things. See, both these things are fixed by employer only. One, his standard is that in 1 hour you should make 60 units. Again, he only has fixed the time rate that for 1 hour he is ready to pay rupees 60. In other words, for 60 units, he is ready to pay rupees 60. Therefore, what will be the piece rate? Piece rate is what? Rate per piece per unit. It will be rupee 1. Are you getting this simple maths, students? So this is a very important and in fact a very interesting part of this question. That is, you need to first convert the time rate to piece rate, because one of the formulae by which we have to solve is the piece rate formula. And that is what will require wages per piece. Is this part understood, students? Because this will be required in some 50% of the sums where the time rate is given, but the solution has to be done by the piece rate. Clear? Good. Very good. Great. So in this question, I have found out one more thing, which is the piece rate, which is rupee 1 per unit. I told you there are two things which I need to address in this sum. One is done. Now the second thing is I have to find out the time saved. This you will have to do whenever the question requires you to solve by any of these formulae. Here both are required. That is the Halsey plan and the Rowan plan. So whenever you have to solve by any of these plans, you need to find out time saved. Now we all know the formula for time saved is again simple, but there is again something very interesting here, students. Let us understand. So I need to find out time saved for three employees, ABC, for which the formula is standard hours, or technically they are calling it as standard time, minus actual hours, which is actual time. And the difference of this is time saved. Now, interestingly, students, what is this second point which you need to understand, which I said you need to address is relating to again this standard. Now, if you'll see, we are given standard. Ki what the employer says, what should be your speed for 1 unit, you should take 1 minute. Another thing, we converted the same standard into another format that in 1 hour you should make 60 units. So both are the standards which are set by the employee, sorry, set by the employer for the employee for doing the work. So what is the speed given by the employer? What is the time allowed by the employer? In 1 hour, you should make 60 units. Great. But here the question is how much is your standard hours? Now, I need to find out standard hours or standard time. Importantly, understand this sentence or language. When I say standard hours, I mean standard hours for doing actual production. So whatever actual production you have done, we want the standard hours for that. Correct? If you understand this, the meaning of standard hours, now you will mathematically understand how to find it. So whenever we are saying standard time, standard hours, you should understand what we are talking about is how much hours are required for making the output. So whatever output each employee has done, whatever production each employee has done, how many hours as per the employer standard should be required. Now here again pay attention. Our standard, which was given as 1 unit 1 minute, is now converted to 1 hour 60 units. So we have modified our standards so that we get this new standard, I will say, not revised, I'll say a new way of writing the same standard that in 1 hour you should make 60 units. Now this will help me find out the standard hours of each employee. So everybody's output is given. Worker A has made 300 units, B has made 480 units, C has made 600 units. Now we need to find out the standard hours. And as I wrote, standard hour means standard time required for doing the actual output. Now we need to find out that whatever output each one of these employees have done, what should be what should be the time that should be required, what should be the standard hours for doing this actual output. Now, we have our standard as that in 1 hour, the employer says you should do how many units? 60 units. So for 300 units, how many hours should have been taken? So if you understand this, then the simple mathematical answer is if in 1 hour 60 units should be done, then for 300 units, we divide 300 by 60. So we get 5 hours. Similarly, we divide 480 by 60, we get standard hours of B. We divide 600 by 60, we get standard hours of C. And yes, this is already given to me as answer by many of y'all. That is really great. It means you're understanding the concept very well. So many of you, before I explaining or solving, have given me this answers. That is good. I want this type of involvement, students, because this will help you or understand this technical thing in the first go. So just don't only listen to this lecture, start solving at backend. When I am explaining something, maybe in that time you can even start solving. So I get this 5, 8, 10 is the standard hours for the given output. So remember what is standard hours? Standard hour means whatever output is produced by every employee, how many hours should have been required. So I've got 5, I've got 8, I've got 10. Now what is the actual time? All workers have worked during the day and 1 day is of 8 hours. So all are present in my factory for 8 hours. Once I get this, I will get the time saved. Here it is negative, but we will write nil. Here it is nil because he has worked exactly in the same time. And here, this person has saved my 2 hours. Correct, students? Now I'll start finding the wages. Now in this question, I have to find wages by the first plan. which they have called as straight piece rate. Now, what is the formula? It is actual output multiplied by piece rate. So for A, B, C, we can find out. You know their actual outputs. Their actual outputs are 300, 480, 600. So it is 300, 480, 600 units. So these are the units. And what is the rate per piece? So rate per piece which we calculated is rupee 1. So as per employer, you should be paid at rupee 1. It means A should get rupees 300, B 480, C 600. Correct? Super. Similarly, by the other two plans, that is Halsey, Rowan. Now, students, what you can do is for saving times in exams, you can solve it in a tabular form by writing the names of the plans and the formula. Like this, what I have written separately, you can write here itself, straight piece rate in bracket formula. And here directly answers. Same thing is Halsey, actual time into time rate plus 50% of time saved into time rate. And same as the other plan, Rowan, actual time into time rate, again actual time into time rate, and time saved upon standard time. Screen is frozen, students. You're not able to see the screen, what I'm writing. See, I'm moving the screen. Are you able to see the moving screen or is it still frozen? Yes means what? Visible. Okay, so the screen was moving for you also. Okay, so it means the screen is not frozen. ठीक है. So we have already solved this 300, 480, 600. Now the same fashion you will find for Halsey and for Rowan. But since this is your first question, I'm solving it purposefully in detail so that you can see the workings. So what is this Halsey? I'm solving it here in detail. Though in exams, you can do it in this tabular form directly. So Halsey is 80 into TR plus 50% of time saved into TR. Now see, A, B, C. What is the actual time? It is 8 hours into what is my time rate? Now see, students, you have to be very careful here. When you are solving the sum, it should not happen in the haste of solving. You multiply by wrong figures because then everything will be going haywire. So my time rate is rupees 60 per hour, which is the time rate. So I'll multiply this by rupees 60. This will give me first part of the answer, which is the time wages. Then I have to take 50% means half. So you can write half also instead of 50% multiplied by. Now time saved is nil. Time saved is nil. Correct now? And here the time saved is, see, I just showed you that calculation also. The time saved for A and B was nil, and for C it is 2 hours. So it is 2 hours multiplied by 60. Now 480 plus nil is 480. Again 480 plus nil is 480. And 480 plus something. When you solve this, you get 60 rupees. So it is 480 plus 60 is equal to 540. So my answers would be 480, 480, and 540 under the Halsey plan, right? And then the same is for the Rowan plan, where the formula is 80 into TR. Again, the bonus part is 80 into TR. but here it is time saved upon standard time. So for your understanding, again, I'm taking the details. So actual time is 8 hours for all into time rate is 60 plus. Now here time saved is nil. Standard time is 8 into actual time is 8 into 60. Again here time saved is nil upon standard time is 8. And again here the time saved is 2 and the standard here is 10. Be clear, students, don't mix in the calculations, take the right values. So I'm taking the values from this working. So the standard time, sorry, here standard was 5, 8, 10. So it is standard is 5, 8, 10. Time saved is nil, nil, 2. So time saved is nil, nil, 2. Correct. And then actual time to time. Now again, students, wherever the time saved is nil, the bonus part is nil, you only get the time wages, so it is 480. Again, since the time saved is nil, this bonus part will be nil, you only get the time wages. And here, time wages plus some bonus. Now the bonus would be 8 into 60 is 480. 480 multiplied by this ratio of 2 upon 10. So this comes to 96. So 96 plus the time wages of 480 is this answer. So it will be 576. So my answers for row 1 are 480, 480, 576. Correct, students? Very good. Many of you all have already given me the answers and they are perfectly correct answers. Very good. Yes, excellent. Julie, then Kunjan, then Shamli, Krishna. Very good. Rajveer. Yes, correct. Good. So many of you all have already given me answer Riddhi but I think your answers are not correct. Please recheck the Halse Rowan answers, and I'm sure now it would be understood by you what is going wrong. Great. So students, this is how Halse Rowan is solved. For this, you have to first do this working of standard time, actual time, and time saved. Fine. So this background, let us proceed to solve more sums with different types of adjustments, different types of language. No, madam, not required. That is what I'm saying. You need not show these details working whenever the question is only for 2 marks. You can simply prepare the table. In the table, you can simply write the formula and directly write the answer. No need of showing this working. I showed this working because this is your first sum. Maximum working, what you are supposed to show is only of the time saved, but not of how this final amount of wages is calculated because that is too time consuming. You can simply do it on your calci and directly write the final answer. Correct? See, so let us go to the next question. Calculate the earnings under Halsey Rowan from following particulars. Hourly wage rate guaranteed 50 paise per hour. So I'm just writing like this. It is 0.5 for 1 hour. So this is what? This is my time rate. So time rate is 50 paise per hour. The standard time given for producing 1 dozen. See, very minutely you have to read the question. So this is the standard given by them. Standard is for 12 units or 1 dozen. It is 3 hours, right? And the actual time taken by the worker to produce 20 dozen. So 20 dozen is your actual output. It is 48 hours. Now, the answer has to be solved only by Halse-Rowan. So I will do this working. Standard hours minus actual hours is my time saved. Correct? Now, I have made how many dozens? 20 dozens. For 1 dozen, you had given me 3 hours. So as per employer, 1 dozen should be completed in 3 hours. So if 1 dozen is to be completed in 3 hours, so for 20 dozens, I should require 60 hours, but I have done the work in 48 hours. So I have effectively saved 12 hours. So one is this working, and then directly you will write the answer. Halse, show the formula. Rowan, show the formula in bracket. No need to show the working. You can directly write the answer. Now again, I am showing the working for your benefit. So actual time is 48 into time rate 0.5. Correct? Plus half of time saved. How much is my time saved? My time saved is 12 hours. So half of 12 into 0.5, which is my time rate. Correct? So this is my Halse working. Rowan working is again actual time into time rate plus again actual time into time rate. Now here, what is the ratio? The ratio is of time saved upon the standard time. Correct? So this will be my answer, students. Anybody calculated? Anybody calculated this, students? 48 into 0.5 is 24, right? And then half of 12 into 0.5. So it is 3. So 24 plus 3 is 27. This is my Halse wages. Again, 48 into 0.5 is 24. And then 12 upon 60 into same 24. So it will be 12 by 60 is 1 by 5, 1 by 5 of 24. 5 4s are 20, 5 8s are 40. So 1.8, if I'm right, 1.8, 24 divided by 5 is not 1.8. So 5 4s are 5 5s are 25. So it is 4.8 plus 24. So it is 28.8. Very good. Himanshu, right? Julie, correct. Pooja, Vidhi, Aishwarya, perfect. Shamli, yes, correct. Khushi, yes. Aisha, correct. Prajot, I think you have forgot it is 0.5. So your answer is correct, but the decimals are wrong. Prajot, yes. Deepika, correct. Good. Chalo, so now we have understood. Now I give you 5 minutes to solve question number 3. See, these are all the problems of exams. You get these type of exam sums. So shall I give you 5 minutes? Solve question 3. Students, now you have to solve question number 6. Very good. Good answers given. Now solve question number 6. It has all the 5 plans that we have studied. So solve. Excellent, students. So let me just share the answers for everybody's benefit. So question 3, which you all have solved first. Let me give you answers of question 3. So Satish is saying, can I get WhatsApp group link? Yes, beta Satish, WhatsApp group link. I'll request our technical team to reshare. So you can join through that WhatsApp link. So students, we were talking about question number 3. So now question number 3, ABC, sorry, ABC, and you have to find out the wages by which plan? Straight piece rate plan, correct? Now the wage rate given is again per hour. So I've already told you whenever it is per hour, you have to convert it to per unit because the plan is piece rate. For this, you require standard. What is the standard given? For 1 unit, it is 1 minute. It means the standard can be called as 1 hour is equal to 60 units. And then the wage rate given again for 1 hour is rupees 5.4. Correct? So this is how you can convert this time rate to piece rate, and then multiplying the piece rate by the number of units given, you will get your wages. Correct, students? I'm sure this is how you all have got the answers. So I'll just take the answers, one of the answers given. So many people have given. I'm reading out one of the answers. It is 35.1, 40.5, and 54. So 35.1, 40.5, and 54. Is this correct, students? The answers for question 3. Students, kindly confirm the answers. So you all have got the same answers. Great. Perfect. Excellent. Good. Good. Perfect. Now, let us go to question number 6. Now, in question number 6, you have multiple plans. So again, what is given? An operator is engaged in manufacturing certain products, receives an ordinary rate of rupees 100 per day. So this is the time rate given, and it is of 8 hours. So you have to remember 100 is not per hour, it is for 8 hours. So if we require, we divide it by 8, so you'll get the per hour wage rate. Now the standard output for manufacturing the component is fixed at 80 pieces per hour. So this is the standard fixed, correct? The output of the worker on this machine is 800 pieces. So this is the actual output. You have to find out the wages. Now, the wages by simple time rate system will be rupees 100, because you are supposed to calculate the wages for 1 day and already 100 is given per day. The second plan is piece wages. So for this, you'll have to find out the piece rate first. Again, how to find out the piece rate? Same thing. You are given standard. Standard is 1 hour is equal to 80 units. So this is the standard. And then you are given the time rate. Time rate is 1 hour is equal to rupees 12.5. How did I get 12.5, students? 100 divided by 8. Correct? So it is coming to 12.5. Now, for 1 hour, 80 units, and also for 1 hour, 12.5. So dividing 12.5 by 80, I get the piece rate. And then multiplying the piece rate by this 800 units, I will get my wages, correct? So my wages, which is coming for this particular plan, that is piece wage plan, that wages will be rupees, how much? One second, I'll check the answers. Chetan, I'll answer you, but you have a very valid question. Just give me a minute. Let me first complete the answer. Otherwise, I will, if I go to answer your question first, it may be confusing for some other students. So 125 is the answer. Now the third plan is piece rate with guaranteed. Now I had already told you for this the answer is higher of the two. So it is coming as rupees 125. And then you have Halser oven. For Halser oven students, again I have told you you have to do first working of standard time minus actual time times saved. Now, what is standard time here or what is standard hours here? You have to find out how much time the worker should have taken for making 800 pieces. So the standard given is in 1 hour 80 pieces. So for 800 pieces, he should have used 10 hours. But he has done the same work in 8 hours. So he has saved my 2 hours. Correct? So on the basis of this, we find out the wages under Halsey, under Rowan with this data. That is actual time is 8, standard time is 10, and time saved is 2. So I'll just check the answers from the chat. So the answers for this question for Halsey Rowan is mm, okay. I'll say no, but Mustafa, your answer is not correct. I have now solved it. Please check it from here. Now tell me if you are still having a doubt in this. Aditi beta, please recheck because the answer which you are showing is slightly different from my answers, Aditi. I think your piece rate calculation is wrong. That is why your answers are different, Aditi. So the answer students under Halsey and Rowan is 112.5 and Rowan I'm getting as 120. I think 120 is the answer. Okay. Harsh beta guaranteed. I had already explained in the previous class. I revised today again at the start. Guaranteed Harsh beta is nothing but the time wages. The time wages is also called as guaranteed wages or minimum wages. Riddhi is telling me Rowan is 125. Shouldn't please confirm Rowan is 120 or 125? Or if there is a confusion, I'll solve again here. So it is actual time, correct, into time rate plus again actual time into time rate into 2 upon 10. So this is 100 and then 2 upon 10 into again 100. So it is coming as 20. So answer is 120. So those who are having 125 Rowan, please recheck. My answer is coming as 120 for Rowan. I have solved in front of you. Yes. Yes, I'm also getting 120. Correct. Fine, students. Now, I have a very important query which is being asked by Chetan. Okay, sir. Now pay attention, students. Khushi beta, how you are getting 125 in Halsey? Halsey cannot be more than Rowan beta. Please beta do the workings correctly. If you are not solving or doing the simple maths correctly, how will you get correct answer? You have not done this half. If you have not done this half, you'll get 125, which is wrong. You have to do this half. If do this half, you'll get 112.5. Correct, Khushi? Students, please be very particular when you are solving. Don't make haste. Don't jumble up the workings. Otherwise, a very simple thing can unnecessarily lose marks in exams. Okay, coming back. Now, Chetan had put a very important question. Ki, sir, taking example of this same, what you have worked is of 10 hours because the output which you have given is of 10 hours, right? Correct? Because if I have manufactured 800 units, as per employer, I have done the work which should have been done in 10 hours. But since my speed is good, I have completed the work in 8 hours. Now, what Chetan is trying to say is, sir, in this case, you are actually losing. How you are losing? Because you are being paid only for 8 hours. So Chetan's point is very valid. Ki, sir, when you worked for 8 hours but given output of 10 hours, is it more beneficial, or you should have worked slow and completed the output in 10 hours only, because in that case you would have got more wages. How? Because here you would have got wages of 10 hours, which is definitely much more than what we are getting in Halceron even after adding the bonus. So answer to this is, Chetan, your understanding is correct, but there is small problem. If you have completed the 10 hours work in 8 hours, you are being paid for 8 hours where you have some incentive under Halse Rowan. Now remember this, you are being paid this amount for 8 hours, and the 2 hours which you have saved, you are doing some other work. And in this other work, you are again getting the wages of that 2 hours plus the incentive, because assuming you are good in speed, so you will be completing that work also faster. So Chetan, effectively, your total 10 hours wages would be much higher, right? Chetan, I hope I could answer your question. So what you are seeing is your wages of 8 hours. Presently, what is in this sum? But if you are forgetting that if you have worked 10 hours work in 8 hours, it means you have saved my 2 hours where you will be working on some other product. You're not sitting idle in those 2 hours which you have saved for me. You're working in those 2 hours also. Right, Beta Chetan? Great. Now, students, I'll take you to some different type of questions. Now, these are same questions on labor chapter, but with some interesting variation. So let us focus on these variations. Now, I call them as word problems. Now, what are word problems? Word problems are those questions, those sums, where you have to do some interpretation of the language, right? What are these word problems? Let us see. So, question 8 I am taking. A worker takes 6 hours to complete a job under the scheme of payment by results. So, payment by results means again piece rate. So, please understand this, that it is payment by result means piece rate. Yes, Riddhi, beta, please allow me some time. I'll do that. Now, the standard time allowed for this is 9 hours. The wage rate is 15. Now see how we are slightly changing our domain. So now we are not only in labor chapter, we are going to do costing completely. How? So they have given that the material cost of this work is 160 rupees. Overheads are to be charged taking 150% of direct wages. Now they want you to calculate the factory cost both under the Rowan plan and the Halse plan. So this calculation is now of factory cost. So let us say, for the purpose of solving, I will prepare a cost sheet. I'll say row one. Now they want factory cost. So how do you calculate factory cost? You have direct material, you have direct wages. Now you are not given direct expenses, so this total will be called as prime cost. And then to this, when you add factory overheads, what you get is your factory cost. Now, this is known. So direct material cost is known. It is 160. How factory overheads would be calculated? It will be 150% multiplied by whatever you will get as your direct wages. Right? Now what we have to calculate is this. So working note 1, calculation of direct wages. Now again, the plan suggested is Halse-Rowan. Again, for Halse-Rowan, we require standard time minus actual time times saved. Now, again, students, somebody said that you have confusion in what is standard, what is actual. So please understand, students, whatever time is the time allowed by the employer, the time which is set by the employer that this work should have been completed in this much time, that is standard. Here it is given straightforward 9 hours. And whatever time you actually take to complete the work is called as actual. So see the language, it says worker takes 6 hours. So the employer wanted you to do the work in 9 hours, but because of your speed and efficiency, you did the work in 6 hours. So it is 9, 6. So what was supposed to be done in 9 hours as per the employer, because of your speed, because of your efficiency, you did it in 6 hours. So effectively, you saved 3 hours for the employer. Again, Chetan, this 3 hours you will not be idle. So you are now doing some other work where you are earning more for those 3 hours. So effectively, if you see the total wages of 9 hours, it will be much more if you are following any of these plans. Fine. Okay. Coming back, students, now after this calculation is done, we need to find out Halse Rowan wages by the formula. So Halse is 80 into TR plus half of time saved into TR. Sorry. Rowan is 80 into TR plus time saved upon standard time into 80 into TR. Correct? Now, what is my time rate? So the wage rate given is 15 per hour. So this becomes your time rate. So actual time is 6, time rate is 15 into half of time saved is 3, time rate is 15. Again, actual time is 6, time rate is 15. Actual time is 6, time rate is 15. Time saved is 3, standard is 9. So 15 6 are 90, 15 3s are 45, 45 divided by 2 is 22.5, 22.5 plus 90 is your answer. Please keep on solving parallelly, students, so that you can give me the answer. Yes, Riddhi, correct. So 15 6 are 90. Again, 15 6 are 90. 90 divided by 9 into 3. So it comes to 30. 90 plus 30 is 120. So I get 112.5 and 120. Yes, Rajveer, correct. So it is 282.5. Sorry, 272.5. And here it is 280. Now, how is factory overheads to be charged? It is given that it will be 150% of direct wages. So it is 112.5 and it is 120. So 150% of 120 will be 180. Yes. And 150% of 112. 55 is 110, 55, 56, 125, 56.25. So students, this is 460. How much will be this? 441.25. Okay. So this is coming as, if I'm not wrong, 168.75. Correct, student? Perfect. Perfect. You're getting this. Good. Urmi. Correct. Yes, Pooja. Right. Now, let me take you to another word problem. Now, this word problem is slightly different. Please pay attention, students. See, word problems are those where you have to interpret the given language correctly. Now, in question number 7, what it says, during 1 week, a workman manufactured 200 articles. So, what is 200 articles? It is my actual output. He received wages for guaranteed 44 week and the wage rate is 15. So, this 44-hour week is his actual hours or actual time. And this 15 rupees is the time rate. See, when you're reading the question, start making these markings. So, this is your actual time. This is your time rate. Now, the estimated time to produce one article is 15 minutes. So, this is the standard given. One unit is equal to 15 minutes. But under Halse row 1, the time allowed is increased by 20%. This is the word play. So, what it means that we'll see when we solve this. So, these are the details given, right? Now, what you are required to do, calculate wages under each of the following methods: under time rate, under piece rate with guaranteed wages, under row 1, under Halse. Correct? So, 7 sum. First is under time rate. So, time wages, it is actual time into time rate. Both are straightforward given in the question. Actual time is 44 hours, time rate is 15. Correct? So it will be 44 and a half of 44, 22. So it will be 66. Correct, students? Yes. Shamli has given me 660. Correct. Now, second is piece wages with guaranteed time wages. So I've already told you for this, you have to find out piece wages, compare it with time wages, whichever is higher. Now, time wages I already have. I need to find out piece wages. But again, before finding out piece wages, I have to convert time rate to piece rate because for finding out piece wages, I need piece rate. Now, for doing this, I need standard. What is the standard given? The standard given is 1 unit is 15 minutes. Correct? 1 unit is 15 minutes. But again, if you remember, students, I have told you that we want it in hours. So I want the standard in hourly terms. So if 1 unit is 15 minutes, then 1 hour will be 4 units. Correct? So this will be my standard. Now, what is my time rate given? My time rate, which is per hour rupees 15, as you can see. So two things now I have. One is my standard where the employer says in 1 hour you should make 4 units. Correct, students? And secondly, the employer says that for 1 hour I'm ready to pay 15 rupees. Therefore, my piece rate will be he's paying 15 rupees for 4 units. So this will be my piece rate. 4 threes are 12. So it will be 3.75 rupees per unit. Now, once I get my piece rate, finding out the piece wages is easy. It is actual output into piece rate. How much is my actual output? My actual output in this sum, students, is 1 week workman manufactured 800. So 800 units into rupees 3.75. So this is my answer. But this is not final because my plan is this. So piece wages with guaranteed time wages. So the answer for this is higher of time wages and piece wages. So how much is my piece wages coming, students? 8 threes are 24 and 800 into 75.75 is 600. Is something because this is come too high. That is why I'm saying something is wrong. This is only 200. Thank you, Riddhi Vada. Yes, Pooja, thank you. So 200 into 3.75. So 600 and 0.75 is 150. So this is coming as 750. Right, correct, Pooja, Shamli. So now my answer would be higher of this two. So my answer is 750. Correct? Yes, Rajveer, correct. Now I go to the next part of this question where I need to find out by Halsey and Govan. So time wage is done, piece wages with guaranteed weekly is done. Now I want Halsey Rowan. For Halsey Rowan, I need to find out standard time minus actual time, that is time saved. And here, this wordplay will come into role. What it is saying, under Halsey Rowan, the time allowed has to be increased by 20%. In other words, whatever is the standard, they want you to increase the standard by 20%. So simply for Halsey and Rowan, we require standard hours minus actual hours, and this will be my time saved, right? Now, students, again, those who have some confusion with standard, I will repeat. What is standard hour? Standard hour means the standard time required for doing actual production, right? This is the meaning of standard hours when we use this term. So, how much actual production I have done? We know that actual production I have done is 200 units, right? So just for everybody's benefit, I'm writing it here. So standard hours, how I'm calculating this? My actual output is 200 units. And what is the standard set by the employer? The employer gave me this standard that in 1 hour, I should produce 4 units. So for employer, 1 hour should be 4 units. Now, if I have produced 200 units, therefore, standard hours for actual output will be how much? So in 1 hour, if the employer asks me to produce 4 units, and if I have produced 200 units, it means as per employer, I have done work for how many hours? I have done work of 50 hours. So students who had confusion in standard, I have repeated the standard calculation with this example as the base. So I have students computed my standard hours, which is coming to 50. Correct, students? Now, this is the standard, students. But for this sum, this standard has to be slightly inflated for Halsey Rowan. How much? By 20%. So only for this sum, I'm increasing this standard by 20% because that is the word play. That is the adjustment given. So now for the purpose of my calculation, standard is 60. I have done the work in this sum in 44 hours. So my time saved is 16. Now I will solve it by Halsey and Rowan. 80 into TR plus half into time saved into TR. 80 is 44 hours. Time rate is 15 plus half into 16 into 15. Similarly, students, for row 1, it is 80 into TR plus time saved upon standard time into 80 into TR. So 44 into 15 plus 16 upon 60 into 44 into 15. Correct, students? Six, 176 and 660. So 660 plus 176 is 836. Students, please confirm. And then 660 plus 8 is 120. 660 plus 120 is 780. Students, please check and confirm. These are my answers, 780 and 836. Yes, Shamli. Correct. So, Riddhi, these are the answers, beta. Students, I hope all have understood this. So, see, these are wordplay questions, right? Yes, Prajjul. 780, 836. Great. Koshi, good. Now, students, we'll do one more interesting question. Now, I call these as, now see, these are again same type of questions. Now, let me, yes, I want this special category question. Now, in this, these are back calculation questions. I will take a bigger one. Yes, I'll take 14. 13 is easy. And 14 and 15 are replica. So if you solve 14, 15 is replica. And 13 is much lesser than 14. So 13 also you can solve easily. So what is given, students? A job can be executed by any of the worker A, B. A will take 32 hours. B will take 30 hours. So these are the timelines. That is the actual hours. Be clear, students. We need to identify what the data represents. So A actual hours is 32, B actual hours is 30. Now the standard given is 40. So the standard hours is 40. Correct, students? Hope everything fine up to this point. Now, what is the missing? See the language. The hourly wage rate is same for both the workers. So they are saying that the time rate is same, but how much is the time rate is not given. Then what it says, in addition, workman A is entitled to receive bonus under HALSE, the 50% plan, not 30%, and B is entitled under the row 1. Sorry. Now the work overheads are absorbed at the rate of rupees 7.5 per labor hour worked. So this is the rate given for overheads. Like how in the previous sum it was given as 150%, here it is given as 7.5 per labor hour. Now, in the previous sum, you had calculated the factory cost. Here the factory cost is given, and that is why it is a missing question. You'll understand how. So what they are saying, the factory cost of this job comes to 2,600 irrespective of who is the worker. So both workers doing the work, the factory cost comes to 2,600. Find out the hourly wage rate and the cost of raw material input. So what are the two missing values? Hourly wage rate, that is time rate, and also see in factory cost, my first cost is my direct material cost or the raw material cost. Missing. So this is how this question has been designed, right? So we are solving 14 sum. So 14 sum. Now I'll simply write cost sheet, workman A, workman B, direct material, direct wages, which gives me prime cost, factory overheads, which gives me factory cost. And they have given that irrespective of who is doing the work, the factory cost is coming as 2660. Now the challenge is I have two missing values. The time rate is also missing and the material cost will is also missing. Yes, Krishna, you're very right. So we will solve this sum because two figures are missing. So see, I told you in my first class that this subject requires maths. And at that time, somebody was a bit concerned, ki sir, maths, which chapters, etc. I told you only the basic maths, which you studied not even in 9th, 10th standard, but at lower grades like 5th, 6th, 7th standard. That level maths is required. So one such example is this sum where you will require x and y, which we used to call in maths as simultaneous equations. So let direct material cost be X. Let time rate be Y. Now, I'll first calculate direct wages. For direct wages, I have two workers, A and B. Standard hours minus actual hours is my time saved. Correct. Standard is 40, actual is 32 and 30. 8, 10. Now, when I'm calculating the direct wages, for A, it is given that he follows or he is paid by Halsey. So it is 80 into TR plus half of times saved into TR. Now A for 80 for A is 32 and this is taken as Y. As you can see, we have assumed time it to be Y plus half of time saved for A is 8 into Y. So what is the wages I'm getting, students? 32Y plus half of this, so 4y. So it is 36y is the wages for A. For B, who has been paid under row 1. I'll just recheck. B is paid bonus under row 1. Okay. So formula will be 80 into TR plus time saved upon standard time into 80 into TR. Now, how much is 80 for B? It is 30. TR is Y. Time saved is 10 upon standard is 40. 30 into Y. So it is 30Y plus 1/4 of 30Y. So it is 7.5. So my answer is 37.5Y. Correct? So 36Y, 37.5Y are the direct wages. Now, factory cost. What is factory cost? It is direct material plus direct wages plus factory overheads. Okay, one more thing I can just calculate here is factory overheads of A of B. Now, how is students' factory overheads given in this sum? This sum says factory overheads are charged at the rate of rupees 7.5 per labor hour worked. So it is actual hours. This is the labor hours worked into rupees 7.5. A has worked 32 hours. B has worked 30 hours into 7.5. So this is 7 3s are 225. Correct? And then same 225 plus 15 is 240. Correct, Shambi. Thank you. Okay, Gunjan, I'll just recheck. Gunjan is saying, sir, factory cost is 2600. Recheck. Yes, thank you, Gunjan, for timely correcting me. So factory cost is 2600. Okay. Now, let me solve this equation. So the equation is factory cost is direct material, direct wages plus factory overheads. Now for A, factory cost is students 2600, which is equal to direct material we have assumed as X plus direct wages of A is coming to 36Y and factory overheads of A is coming to 240. Right, students? Now, this 240 will come on this side, so it will be subtracted. When you take it on the left-hand side, it will be subtracted. So it will be 2160. Am I right? No. It will be 2360. X plus 36Y. This is equation 1. Similarly for B, again direct material is X plus. Now for B, wages is 37.5Y plus overheads for B is students 225. It is 225. Very good, Khushi. Now this will come on this side. So this will be 2375 is equal to X plus 36Y. This is equation 2. Now we'll simply solve both these equations to find out our answer. Yes, Riddhi, thank you. What I will do is subtracting what? 2 minus 1. So what is 2? 2 is 2375 is equal to X plus 36Y. So this is 2 and this is 1 minus 2360 is equal to X plus, see students, again small mistake, this is 37.5Y and this is 36Y, correct? So when I subtract this, this is equal 0, this will be 1.5Y and this is 15. So I get 15 is equal to 1.5Y, therefore Y is equal to rupees 10. And what was Y, students? It was our time rate. So if we see here, we have assumed time rate as Y. So I got the first answer, time rate as Y. Now when I substitute this in our equation, so let us say I'll substitute Y is equal to rupees 10 in equation 1. So what is my equation 1? Equation 1 is this. So it will be 2360 x plus 36 into 10, that is 360. 360 coming here subtracted, therefore x is equal to 2000, which is equal to your direct material. Wow, very good. So many of y'all already gave me answers. So Riddhi gave me answer. Khushi has already given me answer. Shamli has given me the detailed answer. Super. Rajveer, Pooja, Deepika. What is 37? Yes, Deepika, thank you. So students, we get the answers finally. Yes, Rajveer. 10 is your time rate. So then we can come here, come back here and complete, right? How much was your wages? 36Y. So 36Y is 360. 37.5Y is 375 because Y has come as 10 rupees. So 36 into 10, 37.5 into 10. So 2360, 2375. And factory overheads we had already calculated. It was 240 and it was 225. So students, this is how you solve. So student, these are some very interesting questions, right? So let me take one sum on overtime and we will take a sum on labor turnover also. Just a 2 minutes refreshment break. 2 minutes will reconnect students. Students, let us discuss something about labor cost control. So till now we were dealing with the costing part, the calculation of wages part. Now we come to labor cost control. Now, firstly, what does labor cost control means? Labor cost control means controlling labor cost per unit. This is very important. Okay. Now you say, sir, what is this? Now, generally, when we say control, we always mean controlling total. Like in case of material cost also, when we solved EOQ and all, our objective was trying to keep the total material cost as low as possible. But when we come to labor cost control, it is not about controlling the total labor cost. It is controlling the labor cost per unit. Now, how do you find out labor cost per unit? So you have your total labor cost, that is the cost to company, and divided by the number of units produced. Now, when we are talking about number of units produced, understand this, students, that the total labor cost, why you should not aim at controlling or reducing that. Rather, you should aim at controlling the labor cost per unit, because when you try to control or reduce total labor cost, it may have an adverse impact. How? See, we are making payment of this labor or wages to our employees. Now, it is a human tendency that if you are being paid less or I reduce the wages, there will be a psychologically negative impact on the employees. And if I try to either control their wages, that is the total payment which I'm making to them, or I reduce, the employees will start working slow, their motivation will be low, or they would be intentfully, purposefully producing less. So this will lead to my disadvantage. Instead, what does the concept of labor cost control provocates? It says that instead of aiming at reducing the total labor costs, maybe you may do the reverse. You pay more. Let your total labor cost be more. Now, how it will be more? You spend on the bonus and incentive, what we saw in Halser 1. So give them more. But whom you are giving more? Who is producing extra? Who is more efficient? So instead, the concept says that pay more labor costs by giving them incentive, by giving them perquisites, but at the same time, ask them to produce more. That is, for higher output, you pay higher labor costs. Now, interestingly, when you are increasing labor costs, if you observe the Halser one, they are not giving you 100% for the time saved. They are giving you 50%. Rowan is even giving you something pro rata. So effectively, what is happening? The proportion in which your units produce is increasing. You are not increasing wages exactly in that proportion. You are increasing wages by a lesser proportion. So effectively, what will happen? Your labor cost per unit will be lower. And this is what we exactly want in the control part. So control says, instead of controlling total labor costs, increase it. Let it increase because of incentives. Let it increase because of perquisites and other benefits. But achieve this by giving them targets of outputs and let them produce more to get more wages. So more they produce, more wages they get. So they are also happy. In fact, this will work positively. They will put in more efforts to produce more because they know they will get bonus and incentive. But that will help the employer. One, it will reduce your labor cost per unit, as we just discussed. Plus, you have many fixed costs, especially in your overheads, rent, depreciation. These are fixed. Now, interestingly, what will happen? Since this is getting increased, when you compare it with your total overheads also, the number of units produced, since it is increasing because you have given them, offered them incentive, total overheads, which is majorly made up of fixed costs, will remain constant. So your fixed cost of overheads per unit will also reduce because this is fixed. Units are increasing because of more production by employees. So your fixed overheads cost per unit will be lower. Effectively, your total cost per unit will be lower, which is a very good sign for your business. So this is what is the conceptual part of labor cost control. Now, relating to this, there are a few concepts: idle time, overtime, and then you have labor turnover ratio. Now, these are small concepts. Idle time, if you all remember, students, we discussed at the start when we were calculating the labor charging rate. So, idle time is the time which is unproductive. As I gave you an example in the previous class, when I come to the factory, I need 10 minutes for changing. changing my clothes, putting on the safety equipments, and also I require time for the machine to get ready, which is called as machine setting up time, machine warming up time. This time is unproductive, plus the time gaps in between, which I require for tea breaks, that is refreshment, or for lunch breaks, or for changing over from one job to another. All this is my idle time. Now, for idle time, you have to check whether it is normal or abnormal. If it is abnormal, you have to charge to your costing P&L, because abnormal cost never gets added to your product. If it is normal, you have to see whether it is of direct workers or indirect workers. If it is of direct workers, you have to charge to product. If it is of indirect workers, you will charge it to overheads, because indirect wages is anyways going to overheads. So this is how you do the treatment of idle time. Controlling part says that it is very important that you eliminate this fully. This should not happen. ठीक है, where there is something like flood, fire, war, that is unavoidable for everyone, that you can just ignore. But all other abnormal idle time which is happening because of wrong planning, mistakes by the employees committed deliberately, you should completely eradicate it. This is how controlling part deals with idle time. What is overtime? Overtime is the time work beyond normal time. Now, the conceptual part of overtime says that whenever an employee extends his time, his working hours beyond the normal working hours, the extra working hours which the employee is working, or I'll say for which the employee is present, is what is your overtime. So the time for which the employee is present over and above the normal working hours is what is overtime. Now, for this overtime, again, what is very important, students, is how to handle. Now, there are two things. Firstly, how to calculate overtime wages, because you'll have to pay something for overtime also. Now, importantly, overtime wages are always paid at higher rate. So, let us say your normal wage rate is 100. The overtime rate will be 120% of this 100, 150% of this 100. So generally, the overtime wage rate is higher. Now, how do you calculate overtime wages? For this, you require two things. You require the overtime hours multiplied by the overtime wage rate, which will be higher. So normal wage rate is 100, maybe overtime wage rate will be 125 rupees. And overtime hours will be the hours worked beyond normal. Now, how to find out this overtime hours? Overtime hours will be actual hours minus normal hours. But how to find out this normal hours? For this, our theory, our module says that normal time can be calculated in two manners. One is as per Factories Act, if it is applicable. If not, then as per employer's service contract. So let us say employer service contract says that your normal working hours is 8 hours per day. So employee working over and above 8 hours in a day, that would be considered as his overtime. So how will you find out overtime? If it is as per employer service contract, you will check what is given in employer service contract. Generally, it is 8 hours per day. So you will find out every day's time the employee has worked. See, I've taken a simple example. So something like this, you will be given every day's hours worked by the employee minus 8. This will give you the overtime that the employee has worked. This is as per the employer's terms. As I said, for overtime, there is also Second. Yeah. There is also Factories Act. So one you calculated as per the employer's terms. Second is as per Factories Act. Now, interestingly, what does the Factories Act says? It says that overtime can be calculated in two manner. One is on daily basis, you can take overtime by subtracting 9 because as per Factories Act, the daily normal working hours is 9. So whatever exceeds 9 is overtime. Or where you are making payment of wages weekly, weekly can be calculated as exceeding 48. So where your normal working hours exceed 48, that will be the excess would be considered as overtime as per Factories Act. And interestingly, Factories Act says you should pay overtime at double the normal wage rate. This is again interesting. So how to calculate overtime wages? As I said, find out overtime hours multiplied by the higher wage rate. Now, what will be this higher wage rate as per Factories Act? It will be double the normal wage rate. And how will overtime hours be calculated? It will be either 9 hours per day normal time or 48 hours per week normal time minus your actual time. This is how you would be calculating the overtime. Now we come to the most important, another practical case for your exams, that is labor turnover ratio. Now, if you remember, in our last part of material, we studied inventory turnover ratio. Similarly, you have the labor turnover ratio. Now, again, students, what is turnover? If you remember, I had explained this. This is turnover. So, what is this? Movement. Now, in case of material, what was inventory turnover ratio? You buy inventory, every day it is getting consumed, zero. Again, you buy, again it is getting consumed, zero. So this movement of inventory, buying, consumption, is the cycle that you calculate when you are calculating inventory turnover ratio. So inventory turnover ratio comes as number of times. So if you are getting answer as 8, you'll write 8 times. If you are getting answer as 12, you'll write 12 times. What is labor turnover ratio? It is the percentage change in your workforce. So your labor turnover ratio is something different. Labor turnover is at what percentage your workforce is changing. So for this, when we calculate the labor turnover ratio, our answer comes as percentage, right? Now for this, you are given some formulae, and in your exams, either they will be asking you one, two, or three formulae, or they will be asking you all the formulae. So that what you have to read minutely in your question. Now in this regard, what are the different formulae? Let us understand these with the help of one practical sum. So in that sum, the formulae plus the practical sum practice both would be covered. Okay. So let us say I take this as my example. What it says, the extracts from payroll of All Out Limited is given. Compute labor turnover under various methods. So we have to do it by all the methods. Number of employees at the start, number of employees at the end. Correct. Now see students, what happens during the year? During the year, some employees will leave my organization. They will leave by their choice, or I will remove them, or there could be death, disability. So there are different reasons why the employees leave my organization. So when these employees leave, we call it as separation. That is, they are separating from your business or separating from your office. Now, in this particular case, let us say during the year 50 employees left. I will be replacing them by new workers because I need my work to go on. So Out of these 50 employees who left, I could hire new 40 employees. So these 40 employees which I hired in the place of those employees who left, they are called as replaced. So another term used is replacement. So one is separation, one is replacement. And then the third term that you should understand is new recruit or new recruitment. What are they? Now, during the year, I may have started or added one more machine in my factory. Now, for this new machine, I require more workers who are new workers. New means they are not coming as a replacement for some old workers. These are fresh workers who are coming because I have expanded my business. So, wherever I am doing expansion by adding new production lines, by starting new factory units, so I will be adding more workers to my workforce who are called as new recruitments. Correct? So these terms you should keep in mind. Now, what does the question says? At the start you had 150, at the end you had 200. During the year, what happened? Few employees resigned, 20. Some were removed by you, that is discharged. And number of employees who are replaced in the place of these who are leaving is 20. Correct? Now, what is very important, students? See, the practical answer of this is very easy. You are having formulae like how in material we had stock level formulae, we had inventory turnover ratio formulae. You have to simply fill in the blanks in the formula, your answer will be there. But again, at this level, there is a possibility that there could be some missing information. So, how to handle that? For labor turnover, I always recommend that you first do this working. What? Opening number of employees and closing number of employees. Add less. Now in less, we will subtract the number of workers separated. Separated is the term used by them, so we'll also use the same term. Now they may have separated for n number of reasons: resignation, death, disability, in case of females, marriage, or for any reason I have removed them for disciplinary purposes or for some reasons, or now they have attained retirement. So there could be n number of reasons why workers are separated. Then we have workers who are brought in their place who have left. So in the place of separated workers, I have hired workers. They are called as number of workers replaced. And then I have new recruitments. So I have new recruits. Now you should always do this working. So they have given opening is 150, closing is 200, right? Now what else the data says? 20 plus 5 are separated and 20 is replaced. So replaced is 20 and 20 plus 5 are separated. Now interestingly, students, if you look at this, pay attention. So 150 plus 20 minus 25. Is it matching with 200? Answer is no. Because in order to match with 200, I should have added more. And if you see, one important data is missing. So the balancing figure, which is the missing figure, is this. How much it is coming to? If I'm not wrong, it is coming as 55. So that my answer gets tallied. Yes, Vikas Beda, please tell me.
Yeah, I have one question. The number of
Please.
replace worker is already included in the opening number of the employee or not?
No, 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 no. Beda, no, nothing is included in opening. Why? Because opening is on 1st April.
Okay.
And then after that, every day who are leaving, who are getting replaced, they are given separately. So no one is included. Means if you're asking whether replace are included number of employee, they cannot be.
No, then the replace stand for one employee is leaving and second employee is joining. So
So
the number
whoever has
is
left, whoever has left, like in this example, 25 have left for other different reasons. In their place, I have hired 20 workers. That is replaced. So what is your question? If this is the data, means what is your
okay.
doubt?
Yes, clear. Thank you.
Clear, na?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Okay, students. So now with this, let us now take ahead our discussion, right? Clear to all? Now we start with the labor turnover ratio. So first they are saying separation method. So first is labor turnover by the first method, which is called as the separation method. Now under this method, what will be the working? The working is, it is number of employees or workers, whatever you say. Okay, I'll use the word worker only, just like that terminology I'm not changing, who have left or separated upon average number of workers. And since we have to express that as a percentage into 100, right? Now, what is average? So average, we all know the simplest form of average is opening workers plus closing workers upon 2. So 150 plus 200 upon 2. So it is coming as, right? Now, if I solve it by the separation method, how many workers left? Total 25 have separated or left. Upon average is 175 into 100. Then second is the replacement method. If I go by the replacement method, it is number of workers who are replaced upon again average into 100. Now, how many are replaced during the year? It is 20. See the first chart. That is why this first chart is helpful. It is helpful, one, to give you the values also. Also, it is very helpful if something is missing. Correct? Yes, Rajveer, correct. You all can parallelly calculate the percentages. So Rajveer is giving me this as 14.28. Yes. And the other one is 11.43. Yes, Riddhi, very good. Now, students, there is an interesting method called as flux. Flux word simply means it is the combination of the above two. That is the number of workers who are separated plus number of workers who are replaced upon average. So it is simply mathematically the total of the two. So answer would be also a simple mathematical addition of this 25.71 percentage. Correct? Yes, Rajveer. Correct. Then comes the fourth method, which is called as the accessions method. Now, students, what is accession? Accession means total number of workers who have joined you. So the total number of workers who join you is accession. Now, how to find out this? The total number of workers who join you is one, they are joining by way of replacement, plus they are joining by way of new recruitment. So accession is both. So number of accessions upon average number of workers into 100. How many have been replaced? 20. How many are new recruits? 55. So this is your accession. So accession means the total number of workers who have joined. So this will be the formula for accessions. Yes, Riddhi, correct. So 42.86%. Rajveer, it is 42. I think there is some typo at your end. And then interestingly, students, you have to again find out flux. Now, this flux is total of accession plus separation. So there are two types of flux. One is separation plus replacement, and the other is separation plus accession. So separation is 25, accession is 75. So again, it will be the mathematical total of this and this. Correct, students? Yes. Yes, Riddhi. Correct. Mustafa is saying 26.41. Where is better 26.41? Mustafa. Sorry, Mustafa. Yes, Shamli. Correct. Yes, Rajvi. Yes, Prajot. Correct. Mustafa, what you are typing, I'm not understanding, Buddha. What is KIT? There is some typo error, I think, Mustafa. So, students, this is how you find out the labor turnover ratio. So, just remember, first do this working so that if there is anything missing, balancing figure that you can find out, and then you will do this by all these five formulae. So, these are the different practical conceptual aspects relating to your labor chapter. I will request that you all please solve this, practice this from module, from MTPs, RTPs, so that there will be a deeper insight and more practice of this topic. Again, in case there are questions, doubts, you can always come back in the next class. So with this, students, that is the end for our this topic. I'll share the sheet for your reference, but my request is solve from the module and MTPs, RTPs. Yes, beta.
Uh, Sir, could you please share the link in WhatsApp group? So where have you created any group on WhatsApp? So
Yes, beta. BOS follows a WhatsApp group. I will request our admin to please post it. You will get it, beta. Right? You will get the WhatsApp link.
so how can we get the link?
It will be now posted here in the group, in the chat.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Right? Yes, Medha.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
Good morning, beta. Please tell me.
सर वो लास्ट नोट भी अपलोड वहाँ पे दिख नहीं रहा, मतलब जब लैपटॉप में ओपन कर रहे हैं ना तो वो नहीं आ रहा, बट मोबाइल में ये चीज़ ओपन होके आ रही है।
क्या चीज बेटा?
सर असाइनमेंट और नोट्स।
But I don't know what is the problem. See, labor तो मैं आज upload करूंगा. I already uploaded materials which was done last time only. तो वो
यस
आपको
सर,
मिल गया है. वो लास्ट टाइम भी अपनी बात हुई थी तो लोगों को मिल गया था. करेक्ट.
यस सर, मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन में मिल गया है वो।
करेक्ट. तो बेटा अभी वो मुझे नहीं पता है कि ये चैलेंज क्यों आ रहा है कि
सर
मोबाइल में मिल
इसके
रहा
लिए
है
किसको
मगर इस
कांटेक्ट करें, क्योंकि लैपटॉप में जब ओपन कर रहे हैं तो वो नहीं आ रहा। वो आपका भी सर नाम आ रहा है और फिर किसी और सर का भी नाम आ रहा है। सो आई एम गेटिंग कंफ्यूज्ड, लाइक किसका, क्योंकि पहले तो कोई प्रोसेस आ रहा है, फिर आ रहा है मटेरियल कॉस्ट, फिर ऐसे करके आ रहा है।
ठीक है बेटा. आई थिंक निसर्ग जी, कैन यू जस्ट हेल्प हर विद दिस? Sir, there is a question. She is unable to open the, she's saying something, these downloads she is not able to get in laptop. So if you can share some technical person's contact so that she can contact and get her problem solved.
निसर्ग में सर ये विपिन सर का कॉस्ट में आ रहा है। सर का मतलब सिर्फ एक सेशन आ रहा है, बाकी विपिन सर का आ रहा है। तो जब वो ओपन कर रहे हैं ना, तो उसमें क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं विपिन सर का नहीं आ रहा है, मतलब सर का सिर्फ एक ही आ रहा है
सुनिए ना
असाइनमेंट में।
सर, सर मेरी बात सुनिए, आप किसी कांटेक्ट पर्सन का नंबर दे दीजिए, वो ज्यादा बेटर रहेगा, राइट। और ग्रुप में आप एक बार व्हाट्सएप लिंक डाल दीजिए, कुछ बच्चों की रिक्वायरमेंट है, आप ये चैट में व्हाट्सएप लिंक डाल दीजिए सर। सर और भी एक स्टूडेंट का, दीपिका का ही बोलना है कि शी इज नॉट एबल टू डाउनलोड, खुशी सेइंग। ऐसा
यस
भी
सर,
सर,
कुछ
आप
दिक्कत आ
ग्रुप में
रही है
देखिए
वहाँ
ना
पे।
सर, ग्रुप में चैट में आप देखिए ना, आपको मिलेगा। और एक बार आप पहले ही ग्रुप में व्हाट्सएप लिंक डाल दीजिए सर, काफी बच्चे मांग रहे हैं। हाँ, and I think बेटा from WhatsApp link also you will get the contact, because the admin you can contact personally in the WhatsApp link, correct ना निसर जी? So WhatsApp link में से बच्चे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं, एक बार आप चाहिए तो बता दीजिए किसको कांटेक्ट करना है। So students, there is a WhatsApp link posted. I'm sure everybody can see this in our chat. So kindly copy that and join our WhatsApp link. And निसर जी also please inform कि ये जिनको भी ये मटेरियल डाउनलोड और ये प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है वो किससे बात करें।
यस सर, वहाँ पे सीए विपिन सर का आ रहा है, जो क्वेश्चंस 2021, क्वेश्चंस 2019 ऐसे करके वहाँ पे आ रहे हैं।
या फाइन,
थैंक यू सर।
मोस्ट वेलकम बेटा। यस रिद्धि बेटा, टेल मी योर डाउट।
सर आपने लास्ट क्वेश्चन में कराया ना,
हाँ बेटा।
उसमें 2 टाइम अपने फ्लक्स ढूंढे, राइट?
करेक्ट बेटा।
तो सर मतलब एग्जाम में बताया जाएगा कि क्या हमें कौन से लेवल वाला फ्लक्स ढूंढना है?
आपको दोनों करना है, अभी आपको मैं वापस क्वेश्चन दिखा रहा हूँ, क्वेश्चन में क्या लिखा था, सॉल्व इट बाय ऑल दी मेथड्स। जब वो बोलता है सॉल्व इट अंडर ऑल दी मेथड्स, वेरियस मेथड्स, तो आपको दोनों करने पड़ेंगे बेटा।
नहीं मतलब अगर स्पेसिफिक कहा हो कि ये मेथड ढूंढनी है और उसमें अगर फ्लक्स हो, तो हमें कैसे पता चलेगा कि कौन से लेवल वाला फ्लक्स
मैंने
है?
वही बताया आपको, जब वो फ्लक्स बोलेंगे तो आपको दोनों करना है, अगर उन्होंने कुछ नहीं बोला है आपने दोनों करना है, करेक्ट।
ओके ओके सर।
यस, ठीक है। एनी फर्दर क्वेश्चन स्टूडेंट्स? ग्रेट, सो विद दिस वी कंक्लूड। यस बेटा, व्हाट यू आर आस्किंग मुस्तफा? आई वॉन्ट एसेस फॉर दैट। बेटा थियरी पार्ट अभी अपलोड हो जाएगा, ये पूरा नोट्स अपलोड होने वाले हैं अभी, आपको तो पूरे नोट्स मिल जाएंगे ना, आपको एसेस क्या चाहिए बताओ, मैं अभी वापस ओपन कर देता हूँ, पर आपको तो पूरे नोट्स मिलने वाले ना मुस्तफा। विच थियरी पार्ट यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट बेटा? यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट व्हाट थियरी यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट? आई डिडंट गेट बेटा। सी ये जो भी मैंने लिखा है सॉल्व किया है, अभी ये सारे अपलोड हो जाएंगे, so you'll get it from there. Still if you want anything particular, let me know. I'll share it, you can take the screenshot. Yes, Harsh beta, thank you. I also enjoyed the session a lot. It was really very engaging because of your involvement. Fine. Okay, so thank you all students, thank you very much. Nisarg ji, we can close. Yes.